7 goes in that box. We're dividing by 9, right? Alright. Can I get a 9 into a 7?
No. You gotta bring it back. Yeah, put this here right now. 9 into 7. Yeah.
Gives you
9 times 7 is 63. Yeah, with Jason.
what? This Graham wrote the wrong number. 63. And what do I get when I subtract?
7.
Okay, another 0, and I'm dividing into 70 again. What's happening?
It's repeated.
So I have to say with the bar on it, right?
Yeah.
What happened yesterday when we divided 1 by 9?
You got to put a bar on the 1. Yeah.
We had a repeating 1.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that indicates anything. Mm-hmm. Still no ammo.
Ammo right there. I thought her first name was Ammo. Oh. My bad. What happened to the little one? Oh. This is okay. You know. Thank you.
-2. Who are you talking?
Something happened. Was color.
Oh, I might have. Were you guys taking notes? Is that what it was?
No, but we're doing warm up. We won't have things.
Don't touch her butt. No, thank you. Not today. Now you just lying, boy.
Everybody else don't want to answer nothing.
That's my how you doing, Bernie?
Y'all never answer nothing.
Is that the next problem?
No. No.
I'm not gonna do it
Only-
like
only
I'll do
that
it
is.
before. I don't wanna touch her stuff. It switched. What did you
You
do?
thought you was touching it.
I touched it.
You broke it.
You gonna shut down the
You broke it. Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Uh-oh.
Shame on you. Shame on you. From his what is his name? His pet is bored. Did the same thing.
It's been dropping for some reason.
The Wi-Fi problem. Cat.
It's just y'all Wi-Fi.
It is the ghost of that student that really ticked me off.
Me?
What?
Hold on.
Me?
Me.
All of us.
You missed the ghost part. Alright, 3 divided by 8. What did I tell you yesterday? Whenever I divide by 8. Now guys, anytime you divide by, and it's these little tidbits of information, if you get them in your head and you keep them in your head, they make math so much easier. I promise you they do. 3, 6, and 9. If it's not divisible, if it doesn't go into 3, 6, or 9, it will be repeating. It will be repeating. So 8, I told you, whenever I divide by 8, it's always going to end with a 7, 5, or a 2, 5. Every day, even on Sundays, it will always end with a 2, 5, or a 7, 5. 3 divided by 8. 3 goes in the box. Add a 0. Come on, you. Go back. All right. How many times?
3.
3. What's 3 times 8? 24. Subtract. What do I get?
6.
Another 0. 5, 6, 7, 8. How many times will 8 go into 60?
7.
Yeah, that's a 3. 56. What did I say it was going to end with?
5.
7, 5, or a 2, 5. I got a 7, so I know that my next answer is going to be
5.
Alright, go ahead and go throw that away. What is, which number? I have 0.375. What number is in the hundreds? place value.
7.
Okay? How do you know?
Because,
2 spaces and 2 zeros. Right? 2 spaces, 2 zeros. So what is that 5? Say the 7 does.
go up.
So I'm going to say approximately 0.3.
8.
Oh, I gotta put that little top sign.
Just squiggle your equal sign. All right, 1 divided by 8. I'm skipping to 4 because I want to talk about that 8. 8 fit into a 1?
No.
Into 10.
Oh.
What? You just said it's 10.
What? What's 1 times 8?
Oh, my bad. Oh, I'm tripping.
Subtract and I get a 2. How many times will 8 go into 20?
2.
What's your next digit going to be?
16.
4.
We're going to 45 times.
2 5. Last one ended with a 7 5. This one ended with a 2 5. You can test me on this.
Approximately equals the point 13.
There you go. 0. Approximately. Whenever we round, we gotta squiggle our equal sign and say approximately. Okay? Last one?
You want me to do it?
You go up and do it? Or you know you're gonna do it on here then?
You already do it.
Break your toes. Nothing worse feeling than a broken toe. I don't think weight on weight is gonna show up.
Probably.
Now guys, again on Friday, I'm gonna put some up here and I'm gonna say do them and I'm not gonna help in any way like we did last week. No. We're starting to roll in the school year. 49, now you're on.
Yeah, 10 minus 3.
Alright, so we're rounding to the hundredths place. Who is in the hundredths place? The 7. 2 back. 2 zeros in 100, 2 back. What does the 1 say the 7 needs to do? So 0.57. Yes? Alright, let's get our homework.
Homework.
Homework? What are you talking about? Homework? I guess I gotta make more of it so that it's more memorable to y'all.
No.
Homework? What are you talking about? Homework?
Man, I did not.
Alright, hey guys, sit down because I'll come and get it out for you since it's gonna take you like forever. And half of you don't even have anything up there. It's just up there.
Xavier?
So you telling me I just got off for nothing?
River, that don't just turn it back in.
KT?
Right up.
Xavier?
Alright, now we did yesterday, last week we were multiplying the same base. And when we're multiplying that same base, we have to add those exponents, right? But when we have one base and we have two exponents, we're not going to add those exponents, we're going to multiply them. Now yesterday we're dividing. And instead of adding or multiplying when we're dividing, we're going to subtract. And with these problems, it was actually easier just to expand them out and cancel it. But it could be done with subtraction. Number 20 or 16, I did want to look at. Now, remember guys, again, you cannot have the same thing show up more than once. If you do, it's not simplified. You can't have the same thing show up more than once or it's not done. So on number 16, I have 3 b to the third over 3b to the negative 2. This one we're actually going to want to do the subtraction. One thing at a time. What should I do with 3 over 3?
Write 3 and then write b 3 times.
All right. I think that one's going to get, because that's a negative exponent, the 3 divided by 3 just makes 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm
All right, let's use our subtraction. B to the 3 minus negative 2. Minus a negative. So what should I have? 3 to the 5th power. And that was the only one we had yesterday where we really did want to just subtract. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay. Where do I have questions? What do you have for questions? None? You are so good at this
You can go
already that you have no questions on last night's homework.
I'll give you one. Go over 6. Go over 6.
Okay.
No, it was 10. It was 10. But I done it.
All right. 10. I have AB to the third. Now, what does the 3 apply to?
Put the A one time, write the B 3 times.
Right? Because that 3 doesn't touch that A, so that 3 has nothing to do with the A. 2A to the second, B to the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3. All right. Anything that's in top and bottom, I can cancel. So I'm going to get rid of that. There. 3 B's on top, take out the 3 B's on bottom. All right, here's the part that's kind of tripping us up. What is still up there on top? Oh, yes.
Put a 1.
1. That is a 1. All right, now what do I still have left on bottom? A 2, an A, and a B. And there I am. Okay. Let's look at problem to the second.
You're 3.
Let me write all this down. And 3a to the second.
So now you write 3 over 3. Well, you can put 1.
Yeah.
But write the a 4 times and the b 2 times. You go at volume 3 and 2 a's.
Okay, what's gonna cancel itself?
The 3 and the 2 a's.
I need some heads up, please.
You get 1.
It's not our nap time. So do I have anything left in the denominator? So where I absolutely must write this 1. Do I have to write a 1 down here in the denominator? No. What do I have left?
1 over, well, you don't have to. You got after a to the second and b to the second.
And that's that. Alright, one more of these. Which one do you think we should do, guys? 12?
Somebody says some.
7. 2a to the 4th, a to the 2nd, a to the 3rd. So 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. What's going to cancel?
You don't need 7 together. Oh.
What do I have left?
2a.
2a? This is 2a.
No, 2 over a.
2 over a. Alright, I don't have any more questions on it. Alright, journal notes. Journal notes. We've got one more rule to talk about. What does it equal if I have if I have a 0 for an exponent, guys? 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then you know what? It equals a 1. And even after that, it equals Alright, the first 2 things I want you to know about today's topic is that negative exponents. That's what we're talking about today. Negative exponent is a positive number. A negative exponent is a positive number. Okay? What a negative exponent says is inverse. Inverse is a word you learned last year. What does inverse mean? Maybe you're more familiar with it if I say reciprocal.
Half of it.
Not half, not opposite.
All of it.
Positive or negative, positive
We're
version?
lying at the 2 and 3.
No, the positive version.
Okay, when I say inverse, that means flip.
You mean like
The inverse of 3 over 4 is 4 over 3.
Just wait.
The inverse of 9 over 5 is, yes. what about the inverse of negative 2 over 3? The inverse has nothing to do with the sign, guys. The inverse doesn't make it negative or positive. The inverse will not change the sign. The inverse just means flip it over. And that's what a negative exponent is. It's the inverse. So what if I gave you the whole number 6? What would the inverse?
6.
1 over. Again, the inverse has nothing to do with the signs. If it's starting out negative, it stays negative. If it starts out positive, it stays positive. Inverse is when we flip it over. If I have a whole number, I can make it into a fraction by putting it over 1. So the inverse of 6 is 1 over 6. What's the inverse of negative 12? What do you think the inverse of 1/3 would be then?
3 over 1.
How would I write 3 over 1?
3 over 1.
Or
What is 30?
okay. So when you have this negative, that is inverse. Hear me now. It's a positive number. It's just saying inverse. So when I have the inverse of 2/3, I have 3 over 2. A negative exponent is only telling you to flip it over. So what would you think for negative 6 to the negative 2?
6.
What's the inverse of 6?
1 over 6.
Okay, so what do you think the inverse of 6 to the second power is going to be? No. 1 over. You've got to flip it over. Now, what happened when I flipped it over? That 2 changes to a positive. And what's 6 to the second power?
36.
So that becomes 1 over 36. All right, what about a to the negative 4? What should we write?
1 over 8.
To the
4th.
4th power.
No, we just equal that.
Once I flip it, it becomes positive. All right, what do you think? How are we doing? Questions so far?
100. 10.
All right, what would you do with a to the negative 3 over b to the negative 2?
I know. Put B over B2 over A3.
This is negative, so it's got to come
A positive.
up top. And this is negative,
And then go down long.
so it's got to go downstairs. If it's negative downstairs, it's got to go upstairs. If it's negative upstairs, it's got to go downstairs. So I have b to the second power, a to the third. inverse just says flip it over. That's it. Alright, what if I have
I'm gonna try to go back to what you did yesterday.
what did I say you gotta do when it's negative?
Gotta flip it to the back. You got M2 and 5.
Okay, so what has to happen here?
Top and bottom.
They go flip it.
Top and bottom.
So what's coming up top?
And then
So m to the second, n to the fifth. What's going downstairs?
P,
Q to the R to the. What does a negative? Did any sign change? All of these variables were positive when I started, and all of these variables are positive when I stop. Only thing changes is the position. Okay. Let's get rid of all this other stuff on here. Now, one thing at a time. What if I have 5 over one thing at a time? Hit that coefficient. What can divide both 5 and 10?
2. Yeah, 5. That's right.
So what's 5 divided by 5? And 10 divided by 5?
2.
Alright, what about this? Do I need to move that a to the 2? Is that exponent negative? So it's going to stay right where it's at. What about this b to the negative 4?
That's look.
Does it have a negative exponent? So why would I flip it? No. This one here is going to come down. Alright, what about a to the negative 5? It's downstairs and it's negative, so it's got to go. And when it gets upstairs, it becomes positive. And then what do I still have downstairs? Do I need to move it? Look at the board. What else can I do?
Make it look like you add the 8.
Alright, so a to the second times a to the fifth becomes
Some. A to some.
over 2.
What was it? It's B, some.
How was that one? Attack one thing at a time, see if it needs to be moved. If it doesn't, leave it alone. If it does, move it. Alright, what if I have Remember, guys, before this week is out, we are going to test on this.
Oh.
One thing at a time. Let's take on 6/10. What can I divide into both 6 and 10?
2.
So what's 6 by 2?
3.
10 by 2? Okay, that part's done. Where should I put m to the 4th? Up top or upstairs or downstairs? Stays right where it's at, right? Because it's positive. What about n to the -2? Where does that need to go? I need that negative to change. Alright, what about m to the -5? It's downstairs, it needs to go. Alright, and n to the 3rd stays in place. Anything else I can do with this? Yes, sir.
Oh, well, my bad. You gotta add a little what's called.
You can never have any of the letters twice, guys. So I'm gonna have 3m to the
To the 9th.
over
4 and
5.
to the 5 and to the 5th. Ready?
You're sleepy. I'm sleepy. Who's gonna dress up on 70s on Thursday?
Why couldn't we dress up in the 80s? All I'd have to do is just wear my normal clothes.
Wait, it gotta be the 70s?
Yes.
Oh, good.
8th grade is 70s.
It don't make sense. It should be 8th grade 80s, 7th grade 70s,
You just
6th
wear a
grade
cowboy
60s.
outfit.
Instead of 6th grade being 50s. I know it's hard. Besides the name, what even besides the name?
Simplify that one for me.
Oh, 3 of them are home. And God will come out.
I think because of the rain, we'll still go to the gym today for second bus load. But your buses are coming out here, right? You can get dropped off out there this morning?
Yeah,
I did.
yeah, I did.
They ain't finished with the court though.
No, right.
And then they need to put the fence back up. The problem is, 'cause the
I
ball
think
go
they're
down,
working pretty fast.
if the ball go down there, I'm not gonna get it.
They gotta
Somebody
finish,
get my
they gotta
bike,
finish that.
I'm just sitting there.
Right. One thing at a time, who we going after?
Y'all get something purchase.
What can divide by? Okay,
5, and you get 1 over 2.
alright, 1/. What does m to the 0 power make?
Stay at the top, M.
What does m to the 0 power make?
M to 0 power.
Okay, so what does m to the 0 power make?
M to the 0 power. M. I already said M at first. 1. M to the first power. M to the 1 power. Just 1.
Just a 1. That's a 1. Am I moving n to the 2nd power? Alright, what about m to the negative 5?
That's 6 instead of. Oh.
Probably one of the least loud places.
Okay, then I still have,
Into 2 and into 7.
alright, anything I can reduce?
Yes, ma'am.
2 ends here, 2 ends here. What do I get left with?
Into, what's that, 4. M
Over.
over 2.
Alright,
You ain't find that little one? You ain't find that little one right there?
That's the dollar.
alright, working 7.